Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this 17th online lecture session of the course, Computational Fluid Dynamics. In the previous lecture, we completed our discussion on the upwind differencing scheme, and we saw some of its limitations. And in order to overcome its limitations, we have come up with the idea of exponential scheme, where exponential scheme is something which will be which is actually based on the one-dimensional analytical solution of our convection diffusion equation, which is there without any source term. Okay. So in the exponential scheme, what we have done basically, we have devised our scheme by considering the exponential variation of phi between the two grid points. Okay. So while doing so, what we have done, we have found that we have got our equation in terms of the net flux associated at each phase of the control volume, and that net equation was nothing but equal to QE minus QW equal to 0. Okay, and then for QE and QW, we were actually about to calculate the formulation where our QE was nothing but equal to FE into phi E minus gamma E into d phi by dx at phase E. Similarly, I was having QW equal to FW into phi W minus gamma W into d phi by dx at phase W. Okay, so already we have got some expression for phi by considering the two node points, and in between the two node points by considering exponential variation of phi. I have already given you the equations. Now I think you all might have tried the algebraic manipulations in order to find out the final expressions for QE and QW. So let me write over here the final expression of QE and QW. So if you calculate QE, you will be finding final expression as FE times phi P, okay, plus phi P minus phi E divided by exponential of Peclet number minus 1. Okay, so did you get this expression? All of you have got this expression? Please say yes or no. Have you tried or not?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay. This is the expression which you will be getting for QE and QW. Okay, so after doing the algebraic manipulations which I specified in the previous lecture. Okay, now what we have to do, once we are having these values of individual values of QE and QW, so now I can substitute these values in my equation number 1, and once I will be substituting, I will be finally finding the final discretized form of the governing equations. Okay, so it will be FE times phi P plus phi P minus phi E divided by exponential of Peclet number minus 1, okay, minus of FW into phi W plus phi W minus phi P divided by exponential of Peclet number minus 1, okay, equal to 0. Now what you have to do, you have to segregate different terms involving P, E and W. So I have to write generalized expression in the form of AP into phi P equal to AE into phi E plus AW into phi W. Can I write this expression? So whatever the equation I have got, if I just do the algebraic manipulation, segregate the different terms involving phi P on the left hand side and all the other terms on the right hand side, I can write this expression in the form of AP into phi P equal to AE phi E plus AW into phi W. Okay, so in this expression, if you now make the analogy, can you tell me what will be the coefficients? Can you tell me value of AP? AP will be equal to, if you see this expression, AP will become FE, and over here it will become minus minus plus. So FE plus FW, okay, and what I will be getting for phi E? All of you, can you tell me what I will be getting? Please tell me the value for AP.
Hello.
Yes. It will be FE plus FW. Okay. So this minus minus will become positive. So it will become FE plus FW. Okay. And what else? This term we are having involving phi P. So it will be FE divided by exponential of Peclet number -1. And over here, this minus minus will become plus FE plus FW divided by exponential of Peclet number -1. Okay. So this FW I have written wrongly. This FW will not come over here. So it will be FE plus FW divided by exponential of Peclet number -1. Okay. And what will be the expression for AE? The expression for AE will become AE, if this goes to right hand side, AE will become FE times, it will become FE times FE divided by exponential of Peclet number -1. Okay, so AE will become FE divided by exponential of Peclet number -1. What will be the expression for AW? Can you tell me expression for AW? AW will become FW plus FW divided by exponential of Peclet number -1. Is this point clear? What I have written over here?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So these expressions are correct? Yes. Okay. So now we have got FAP, AE, and AW. Okay. So now from these expressions, one important thing you can see over here. Okay. So from these expressions, one important thing, what you can see, one important thing you can see over here that these expressions are derived by considering the exponential variation between the grid points. Okay. And if we see the exact solution of our 1D convection diffusion equation, that is also having what kind of nature? Exponential nature only. Okay. So it means whatever the exponential scheme has been derived, it has been derived by considering the exact nature of the solution. So if it is derived by considering the exact nature of the solution, always it will give you the solution, numerical solution, exactly identical to that of your analytical solution. Okay, so this is one of the biggest advantage of exponential scheme. Moreover, it is also, this particular scheme also does not depend upon the grid size. Why? Because either if you consider only 2 grid points, say, which are at the boundary nodes, between these also, as we have already considered that our variation is exponential while driving the scheme. So that's why this particular scheme, irrespective of the number of grid points we are considering in one-dimensional domain, it will always result in a numerical solution which is identical to that of analytical solution. Okay, so this is one of the very, very strong advantage of this particular exponential scheme. However, this exponential scheme is actually very difficult, or I should say it is computationally challenging to solve. Why computationally challenging to solve? Because when we have to calculate the exponential in computer, that is actually not computationally economic. Okay. And other disadvantage of this particular scheme is that While we are considering this exponential nature, it is only valid for one-dimensional convection diffusion equation. Okay, so when we are having some physical situation where variation of phi is there in other two directions also, in that case there will not be exactly exponential variation in our solution, and moreover we will be having the limitation in terms of calculating the analytical solution. So under such conditions, this scheme will not be giving accurate results as it is giving for one-dimensional convection diffusion equation. Okay, so considering this limitation, that majority of the physical situations whatever we will be having, these will be having the variation of property along say two or third dimension also. There is rarely a case where property is only varying along the one direction. Okay, so that's why considering this particular physical nature of the phenomenon and the limitations in terms of calculation of the computations, or I should say in other words computational expenses involved in order to calculate the exponential, because this requires calculation of exponential while obtaining the coefficients. Okay, so considering these two limitations, this scheme has not been implemented in the computer solvers of CFD. Rather than this, hybrid and power law based schemes were implemented, which are basically also derived by taking the understanding from exponential scheme only. Okay, so now we will look into the hybrid and exponential scheme, hybrid and power law schemes. But before that, just I want to know that did you get the idea about exponential scheme? What are the limitations I have told you? Is it clear to you?
Oh. Yes, sir. Sir, but one doubt, sir, why it is independent of grid size? What's the? I'm not clear with that.
Okay, it is independent of grid size because if you see its basic origin, you have considered by considering the exponential variation. Okay, so exponential variation is something which is applicable for entire domain. For example, if I plot phi versus x, say I have some value of phi naught over here and say phi L over here. Okay, so now from here to here, your nature is exponential. Now, if you only take 2 points, say if you take only this point and this point, then also what it will be doing? It will be giving your solution over here, and through these 2 points, you can join the curve. Okay, and if you take more points, then also it will give you the information about all the intermediate points, and the nature of the curve will be once again remaining same. Okay, so by considering the more number of grid points also, what will be happening? Numerical solution will exactly follow the analytical curve. Okay, so that's why upon increasing the number of points also, if you have to draw the curve, that accuracy of drawing the curve by considering numerical points, that will only increase, whereas the numerical solution, in terms of the numerical solution, accuracy will remain same. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let me talk about hybrid scheme. So while talking about the hybrid scheme, what I will do, I will first take one coefficient AE from this expression of exponential scheme only. So if I write down the value of AE, what is AE over here? It is FE divided by exponential of Peclet number minus 1. Okay, now let me non-dimensionalize this AE, or so let me write this AE divided by DE. So if I write AE by DE in the numerator, I will be getting FE by DE. So what is FE by DE? FE by DE is nothing but our Peclet number. So I will be getting AE by DE as nothing but Peclet number divided by exponential of Peclet number minus 1. Okay, so now if I plot this coefficient AE divided by DE, let me plot this AE divided by DE as function of Peclet number. So here say Peclet number is 0 and this is the direction in which Peclet number is actually varying. So below 0, I'll be having negative Peclet number, and above 0, I'll be having positive Peclet number. Okay. And say this is my values for AE by DE. Say this is 1, 2, something like this. Okay. So now, can you tell me what will be the nature of this AE by DE over here? What will be the curve? How our curve will be looking like? Is this point clear? So this is nothing but my exact curve for AE by DE. Clear? So from here, now let us try to find out different limiting values for AE by DE. So let us first consider, when my Peclet number will be approaching to infinity, what will be the value of AE by DE? So when Peclet number is approaching to infinity, you consider that you are substituting over here e power infinity. So e power infinity will be very large. So that will make my AE by DE as nothing but equal to tending to 0. So that is something which we are seeing over here. So if you see over here, in this direction, our Peclet number is increasing. And when my Peclet number is large, at that point, AE by DE value is actually approaching to 0. Okay. Another situation you can see, when your Peclet number is approaching to minus infinity. So when Peclet number is approaching to minus infinity, at that time, what will be happening? This exponential of minus infinity will become 0, and you will be getting -1 in the denominator. So -1, if you bring into the numerator, you will be finding that AE by DE is approaching to nothing but minus of Peclet number. Okay. So it means when your Peclet number is approaching to infinity, you can approximate this particular curve with a straight line, and the equation of that straight line is nothing but AE by DE equal to 0. So what will be the straight line with AE by DE equal to 0? So say this is my some line. So this particular line I am over here saying as this is my line when AE by DE is equal to 0. Clear? So I am drawing over here one straight line, and that straight line is actually representing equation AE by DE equal to 0, and this will be true when our Peclet number is large. Okay. And when Peclet number is large in negative sense, it means it is approaching to minus infinity. At that time, our AE by DE is becoming equal to minus of Peclet number. So it means here I will be having some straight line over here with slope as -1. So this is my another straight line which represents AE by DE as nothing but equal to minus Peclet number. Is this point clear? So how I have drawn these two lines? Okay.
Sir, which Peclet number is it? Is it local or globe?
We are talking about here of local Peclet number only, which is based on the grid size. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so what we are having over here, we have now seen two lines, and one more condition I can take when my Peclet number is approaching to 0. So when my Peclet number is approaching to 0, corresponding to that, if you calculate AE divided by DE by applying the limit, you will be finding AE by DE as nothing but equal to 1 minus Peclet number divided by 2. Okay. So now let me draw this line for AE by DE near the Peclet number tending to 0. So this line will be AE by DE, and that will be nothing but 1 minus Peclet number by 2. So that is something what I can do. At this curve, I can draw some tangent. Okay. So I will be drawing a tangent over here, and this tangent will be nothing but representing the equation of line as AE divided by DE equal to 1 minus Peclet number divided by 2. Okay. So what I have done basically, I have created 3 different lines. One line I have represented when my Peclet number is approaching to infinity, minus infinity. Another line I have represented when Peclet number is approaching to infinity, and another one more line I have considered when my Peclet number is tending to 0. So when my Peclet number is tending to 0, this is the line I am getting over here. Okay. So now if you see over here, one important finding we are getting. What is the important finding? These three lines I can extend in all the directions. Okay. But whatever the maximum of these three lines we are having, that is something which is closely approximating our exact curve by considering the exponential variation. Is this point clear, what just now I told? Please say yes or no. If not clear, I'll repeat it.
Please repeat.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I told, that this is my exact curve, which is I have drawn by form line, and one approximate line I have drawn over here by considering the situation that AE by DE is equal to minus Peclet number. So for that I have drawn one line over here. Okay. And similarly, one more line I have drawn over here, and that second line is for AE by DE equal to 0. And third line I have drawn, which is for AE by DE equal to 1 minus Peclet number divided by 2. Okay. Now if you see, all these three lines are now participating in the entire range of Peclet number from minus infinity into plus infinity. Okay. But one thing you can observe over here, that in these three lines, for example, if you talk about this region, let me now talk about this region. So in this region, you can see over here, what is the value of this AE by DE line? AE by DE equal to 0, that is something like this. And one more line I am having, which is AE by DE equal to 1 minus Peclet number by 2, that is giving me these values. And one more line I am having, AE by DE equal to minus Peclet number. So that is giving me these values. So in this region, you can see whatever the maximum value I am getting for AE by DE, maximum of all these three, that is something which is closely approximating to the exact curve. Similarly, over here in this region, if you see, in this region, this is giving me negative value. This is also giving me negative value, and this line is giving me one constant value which is equal to 0. And that constant value equal to 0 is something which is closely approximating to the exact curve. And in between these two, if you see, one is 0, one is giving value as minus Peclet number, and one we are having 1 minus Peclet number by 2, and that line is giving actually the maximum value of AE by DE, and that is most closest to the exact curve. Now is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
So what I am trying to say over here, that what is the maximum of these three we will be getting, that maximum of these three will be actually approximating our coefficient closest to the exact variation of the solution. Okay, so this is very, very important point based on which actually hybrid scheme is designed. Okay, so if you see this equation of AE by DE equal to 1 minus Peclet number by 2, this will be crossing this boundary at Peclet number equal to 2, and once again this intersection above which the another point is dominating, this will come at Peclet number of minus 2. Okay, so one generalized form we have got over here. That my coefficient AE by DE will be nothing but equal to maximum of minus Peclet number, because first line is minus Peclet number, second line is 0, 0, and third line is 1 minus Peclet number by 2. So if I have to employ a hybrid scheme, that will be giving me the approximation for coefficient AE by DE as nothing but equal to maximum of minus Peclet number, or 0 or 1 minus Peclet number divided by 2. So out of these three, whatever will be the maximum, that will be considered as your coefficient for the purpose of computations. Okay. Let me now take this DE to the right hand side. So if I take DE to the right hand side, what I will be getting? AE will be equal to maximum of, where I was having Peclet number. So definition of Peclet number is nothing but equal to FE divided by DE. So if I multiply with DE instead of Peclet number, what I will be getting? I'll be simply getting FE. Okay. So it will be maximum of minus FE. If I multiply with 0, that will not affect. If I multiply with 1 minus Peclet number by 2, that will become FE. Sorry, that will become, I am multiplying with DE. So that will become DE minus FE divided by 2. Okay. So this is the coefficient I have obtained over here, AE, which will be equal to maximum of minus FE, comma 0 and DE plus DE minus FE by 2. And over here, one important conclusion I can say that AE will be equal to minus FE. AE will be equal to minus FE. When AE will be equal to minus FE? When my Peclet number is less than minus 2, because in this region only this first line is valid. Okay, so this will be true when my Peclet number is less than equal to less than minus 2. Okay, and when AE will be equal to 0, when AE will be equal to 0, when our Peclet number is greater than 2, and AE will be equal to DE minus FE divided by 2 for Peclet number in between minus 2 to 2. Is this point clear? How I have written these conditions over here. So these conditions are nothing but coming from the curve only. Okay. So is this point clear?
Sir, the value of maximum which we are taking, it is magnitude wise we are taking or with sign?
Magnitude wise. Means with sign I am considering over here. If I have included minus FE, so I will be including FE with minus sign over here. Okay. Sign will also participate into the estimation.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So similarly, the way I have written coefficient of AE, similarly I can write down the coefficient of W also. So coefficient of AW will be becoming maximum of, so AW I have not derived fully, but let me write over here. So it will be becoming maximum of, here negative sign will not come. It will be maximum of FW, comma 0, comma DW plus FW divided by 2. Okay. So this is what you will be getting, the coefficient for AW, and coefficient of AP is nothing but equal to, we have seen earlier also, it is AW plus AE plus FE minus FW. So this will be your coefficient for AP. Okay. Now this is our hybrid differentiation scheme. There are few characteristics of the hybrid differentiation scheme. So one important thing you can see over here, this hybrid differentiation scheme is behaving as, it will be behaving as nothing but upwind differentiation scheme, upwind differentiation scheme with diffusion set to 0. Okay. And in this region, it will be behaving with as CDS approximation. And once again, in this particular region also, it will be same. So this point is clear. So whatever the coefficients for hybrid differentiation scheme we have got, if we just apply upwind differentiation scheme for Peclet number condition greater than 2 and less than minus 2, and this upwind differentiation scheme also if we apply by considering that diffusion term is set to 0. So under these conditions, whatever the coefficient of AE and AW, AP I will be getting, these will be actually matching exactly equal to that of our coefficients which are obtained for hybrid differencing scheme. Okay, and when we are applying the CDS scheme for Peclet number within -2 to 2, so the coefficients whatever I am getting in hybrid differencing scheme, that is exactly similar to that. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
So can you obtain this analogy similarity, or do I need to show over here? Whatever this analogy I told you, can you obtain by yourself? So nothing but whatever the starting equation you are having, there you have to simply apply upwind differencing scheme by neglecting the diffusion term. So then you will be getting these coefficients. And when, if your Peclet number is within -2 to 2, and if you are applying CDS scheme, then your coefficient will be matching exactly similar to this expression. Okay. So I can say over here that hybrid differencing scheme is nothing but it is combination of upwind and central differencing scheme. However, it takes care of the reason where central difference scheme is stable, there it takes central difference scheme which is more accurate in comparison to the upwind scheme, and where central difference scheme results in unstable solution, in that particular region it employs nothing but our upwind differencing scheme. Okay, so order of accuracy may be slightly less, whereas its solution will be actually stable. Okay, so this is hybrid differencing scheme, and it has become very popular at the time it was developed, and it has been employed for the solution of different physical situations. Okay, now let me go back to let me start with another scheme, which is something known as power law scheme. Okay, so before this, let me give you a few more details about the hybrid differencing scheme. So this particular scheme is actually developed by Spedding in 1972. Okay, so after one important thing, can you now tell me, if I have to calculate, say, fluxes at phase W of control volume using hybrid differencing scheme, can you tell me what will be the value of flux? What will be the value of flux QW? Say this QW I want to obtain for 3 different situations. First is Peclet number, say, greater than 2. Second is Peclet number less than -2, and third is Peclet number within -2 to 2. Can you tell me the flux at phase W? So what is the general formulation of flux? General formulation of flux, just now we have seen that it is nothing but FW minus gamma W into d phi by dx at W. So I have told you that this hybrid differencing scheme is nothing but upwind differencing scheme when diffusion is set to 0. So if I set diffusion to 0, it means this second term will be equal to 0. And if my Peclet number is greater than 2, I have to estimate, if I have to estimate the value of phi W, what will be the value of phi W? Can you tell me value for phi W?
Phi capital W.
Phi capital W, yes. Okay. Now, if I have to apply this scheme for Peclet number less than -2, so in that case, what will be happening? FW into phi W minus gamma W into d phi by dx at W. So this will be once again set to 0. What I will be getting over here? FW times, what will be the approximation for phi W? If my Peclet number is -2, it means my flow direction has now reversed. So when flow direction has reversed, what will be value for phi W? Can you tell me now?
Phi P, capital
Phi P.
Yes, it will be phi capital P. Okay. Okay. Now, let me talk about the another combination, which is FW phi W minus minus gamma W. So this will be gamma W into d phi by dx at W. So over here, which scheme I have to apply? In this region, I have to apply central difference scheme. So if I apply central difference scheme, what will be value for phi W?
Phi W plus phi P divided by 2.
Phi W plus phi P divided by 2. And what will be value for this? This will be
Phi P minus phi
W.
Okay, so now you segregate. Let us consider phi W, FW as common outside. If I take FW common, I will be getting 1 by 2 into phi W, and this will become DE, and DE by FW will become Peclet number. So it will become plus over here. I was having say, yeah, it will become minus minus plus. It will become plus 1 divided by Peclet number. Okay. And then if I take phi P terms, so it will be phi P divided by 2, and it will be minus of 1 divided by Peclet number into over here phi P will also, phi W will come, and here phi P will come. Okay. Now you segregate the terms involving phi W and phi P. So if you write, it will be becoming FW into 1 by 2 times 1 plus 2 by Peclet number into phi W plus 1 by 2 of 1 minus 2 by Peclet number into phi P. Okay. So this will be your flux for different combinations of Peclet number. If you calculate this flux using nothing but your which scheme? Hybrid differencing scheme. Okay. Now, can you tell me what are the limitations of hybrid differencing scheme? What is the limitation of hybrid differencing scheme? So if you see over here,
it is also taking like analogies with the like 1D convection diffusion analytical solution.
Yes, that part is there, but it is considering both upwinding and central difference solution also. But one of the biggest drawback of this scheme is that in this particular region, you can see its coefficient is actually significantly differing from exact coefficient. Here also it is significantly differing. And the reason is that immediately beyond this Peclet number equal to 2, we are neglecting our diffusion term. Whereas diffusion term, when our Peclet number is closely equal to 2, then there is some sort of comparable nature of the convection and diffusion. Okay, so convection is not significantly dominating over the diffusion, and we cannot directly set diffusion equal to 0. So that's why we have to consider some scheme which consider diffusion equal to 0 at large Peclet number only. Okay, and when our Peclet number is small, say close to 2, then we have to include our diffusion into the consideration. Okay, so this particular limitation of hybrid scheme is actually is addressed by Patankar. So there is one scheme, power law scheme, which addresses this particular approximation, and this scheme is proposed by Patankar in 1980. Okay, so Patankar has proposed this particular scheme in 1980, which is referred to as power law scheme, and it overcomes the difficulties of or the assumptions whatever we have considered in our hybrid differencing scheme. Okay, so as per this Patankar's power law scheme, what he has done, he has divided the entire region or entire regime into 4 different conditions. One is Peclet number less than equal to -10. Another is Peclet number varying from -10 to 0. Third is Peclet number varying from 0 to 10. And finally, Peclet number greater than equal to 10. Okay. So what he has done in his approximation, he has considered AE to be equal to 1 plus 0.1 times Peclet number raised to power 5 minus Peclet number when our value is, so this is nothing but AE divided by DE. So this is considered when, let me write this DE in multiplication only over here. So if I write in multiplication, I'll put big bracket over here. Okay. So this is something which is when our Peclet number is from -10 to 0. And when Peclet number is from 0 to 10, under this condition, he defined AE as nothing but equal to DE times 1 plus 0.1 into Peclet number. Sorry, instead of plus, it is a minus sign. Minus 0.1 into Peclet number raised to power 5. Okay. And when this Peclet number is greater than 10, under this condition, what has been found, under this condition, it is considered that we are having scheme as nothing but upwind differencing scheme by neglecting the diffusion. So in this case, it will be simply equal to FE. And here, when it is less than -10, then what will be the value of coefficient? Once again, it will be FE, but it will be with minus sign. Okay. So this is the scheme which employs some power law based formulation. And what this particular scheme does, if the Peclet number is in the range of -10 to 0 and 0 to 10, then it employs some power law based formulation for estimation of the coefficients. And when we are having the value of Peclet number greater than 10 and less than -10, under these conditions, it set diffusion to be 0, and it implies it obtain the coefficients by just considering nothing but simple upwind differencing scheme. Okay, so this is one of the advantage of this particular scheme, that only along the large Peclet number it will be setting the diffusion equal to 0, which is physically also true, and in between it considers some power law variation which matches almost exactly to that of, it is not identical, but it is very, very close to that of the exact analytical solution of our 1D convection diffusion equation. Okay. So in general, if I have to write down the coefficient AE, so in general, this coefficient AE will become nothing but maximum of DE times maximum of either 0 or 1 minus 0.1 into Peclet number power, so mod of Peclet number power 5. Okay, this plus maximum of either 0 comma minus FE. So this will be the general expression of coefficient. This point is clear. So what I will be getting, if I have to calculate the general coefficient, that will be nothing but equal to AE equal to DE times maximum of 0, either maximum of 0 or 1 minus 0.1 into Peclet number power 5. And this Peclet number I am considering in mod. So that's why I am taking care of both these forms, and plus maximum of either 0 or minus FE. Okay, so that will be basically giving me the generalized coefficient. And one of the beauty of this power law scheme is that it results in solution of the equation very, very close to that of the exact solution. Okay, and that's why this power law scheme is very, very popular also, and in majority of your commercial as well as the open source solvers, it is actually being used widely. Okay. Now let me compare different schemes. So now what I will be doing, I will be making the comparison of different schemes, whatever I have shown over here. Okay. So let me consider some situation where I have, say, variation of phi with x, and say this is my exact solution. So what is this? This is my exact solution. So whatever the exact solution I will be getting, if I draw the curve for power law solution will also be exactly mimicking our exact solution. There will be slight deviation, but that deviation will be so small that we will not be able to physically observe it. Okay. So exact solution and power law solution will match almost close to each other. And then if I consider upwind differencing scheme will be showing significant amount of false diffusion. So this is my upwind scheme. Okay. And if I see the hybrid scheme, hybrid differencing scheme will give me solution close, but in some portions it will give me unbounded solution. Okay, so this is particular scheme is nothing but our hybrid scheme. So with hybrid scheme, what I will be getting in majority of the portion, I will be getting our solution to follow the behavior closely as that of exact solution, but there will be some portions where this particular hybrid differencing scheme will result in unbounded solution, and this unbounded solution will be because of the considering central difference scheme in the range of Peclet number, where actually we have to account for the transportiveness. Okay, so this is the comparison of different schemes which we have studied till now. Now there is one more differencing scheme. So if you see over here, till this point we have only talked about only in terms of the stability of the solution. Okay, and if we consider the order of accuracy is not that high, because even if we are considering hybrid differencing scheme which shows the first order of accuracy, that is also not very high. Okay, so there are some schemes which may give us order of accuracy better in comparison to the first order accurate schemes. So that is something which we will try to see in the next lecture. Now I'll stop at this point. Okay, if you are having